How's it going, Critter Family? I hope you all are doing well. Today we are going over a video I forgot to make an intro for. So this is by Beckman's Dog Training, looking at 2 Ridgbacks. Usually they say 2 dogs, 10 times the problem. So we'll see if they give him 10 times the problems. I don't think they're actually that bad. But I hope you enjoy it. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to my members, channel members. Thank you to everyone for your support. And I hope you enjoy.
Walking in a long time, 2 big dogs. So you guys are going to learn about 2 dogs walking. I'm going to talk you through it. We have walked these dogs. I, however, have not walked both these dogs on a normal walk. They got here a few days ago. So you're going to see it live like you always do, and I'm going to talk you through it.
Okay.
You guys...
Just a quick little reminder, when you're working with 2 dogs, you're working with 3 dogs. You want to work each dog individually and then together. Sounds like that's what he's been doing. But when you have multiple animals that are learning a new behavior, then you are they can feed off of each other. They can forget about the prior training. So I see what looks like maybe some head halters here. I don't know. From the preview, it doesn't look like he uses those. I'm glad he doesn't, because he uses them very aggressively and very abusively, in my opinion. But just keep in mind, when you do work with dogs, multiple dogs, you need to really make sure that each one individually has the basics down and they really understand it. And then when you bring them together, it makes your life easier. Prior learning makes future learning easier.
You want to walk 2 dogs? You want to walk 1 dog? You want to walk a big dog, young dog? These guys are 9 months old. You need to follow the advice that I'm going to tell you right now.
No.
Okay? I have their gentle...
I disagree. He says you need to follow my advice if you want to walk a big, young dog or multiple dogs. Do not follow his advice. That's my advice. Because he's going to show you a very aggressive way to train them. You don't need to follow his advice. You don't need to follow how I walk dogs. I always leave a link in the description below. Where you can see how I walk dogs. You don't have to follow what I do, but don't follow what he does. There's plenty of other methods, or there's plenty of other options out there you can follow. Kiko Pup, there's Gracious Stewart, there's even Zach George, there's Victoria Stillwell, lots of other, Training Positive, Positive Canine, all these other really great methods you can use that use positive reinforcement that doesn't rely on you just yanking and cranking on your dog.
Gentle leaders, I hope to not use them. I hope to not need them. There's the occasional walk that I need it, and you're going to need it. But
no, you don't. You don't ever need it.
Me and everybody, we want to walk on a normal collar. We don't want to use a prong. We don't want to use a gentle leader. Sometimes gentle leaders are necessary.
No, they're not. They're never necessary. And what if you want to walk on a harness? This idiot doesn't know how to teach a dog to walk on a harness. The collar is made for your tags, your identification tags. If you want to walk on a harness, you can look at the tutorial I'll leave in the description below, or check out Kiko Pup's pressure and release game, or look at anybody else who uses positive reinforcement, because I promise you it does work. Otherwise, you're just going to, follow an idiot's guide.
I'm going to talk you through everything I do. You guys have to follow this.
No, you don't. I don't recommend you do.
You guys subscribe to this channel because you love this method. There's other reasons you like the dog.
They subscribe to the channel because they feel like, either you're charismatic, I don't know how, or because you get results, but it matters how you get those results, or because they're at their wit's end and they see, again, the results. They don't care how you get them, or they will tell themselves and make an excuse to themselves that, oh, you get results, so I can do this too. Even though this guy is being an abusive bully, I couldn't possibly hold myself accountable because I'm following an abusive bully, so therefore I'm an abusive bully. I'm aggressively popping on my dog's collar and causing, popping on a gentle leader. No matter, it's no longer gentle. The gentle leader was never gentle. It's just the name of it. If you want to follow his advice, then you have to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am as aggressive as this dumb bully, and I'm bullying my dog.
Playing or how to stop fights. You guys like the doorway method.
That's a horrible method.
But the loose leash walking method is one of the bigger reasons that people subscribe to this channel. Okay?
There's a bunch of idiots in the world.
Blue. Come here. Or don't.
He's afraid of you.
TJ. All right, what do you
He's
guys
already
do
afraid of
when the
you.
leashes first go on? Does your walk start when the leash goes on in your house, or does the walk start when you get out on the sidewalk? It starts right now. It has to start right now. How are these guys, look at these
They're
two dudes.
so cute.
They're 90 pounds apiece.
Wow.
How are these two dogs going to handle the world out there if they...
Each dog, any dog individually, can pull 3 times their weight. I think that still the statistic might be something different, but, 90 pounds of dog each. One alone could pull him down the street. 2 of them, it's, he'd be flying. Chonkla's going in the air, flying away. Tennis shoes and all that in the air. So that doesn't mean that just because these dogs pull a lot or are very strong that we need to be aggressive. That doesn't give us an excuse to be aggressive. You should work smarter, not harder.
They cannot handle, or if they're just leaving you to go to your front door. You guys, you can't skip this step. I get Instagram messages and comments and Facebook messages all the time from you guys saying your loose leash walking method changed our life. So I'm going to drill down on it. I got 2 big dogs and I'm going to explain it. They can't leave you in your house. I'll say it again.
I don't care if my dog leaves
you
me.
in your house. You stand there in your house and they go, I'm going to the door because that's what we do. And you go, no, we're not. And you stand there.
You don't.
Or you give a correction.
No,
and
you don't.
Walk the other way, even more powerful. Then you walk toward
No, how about you just walk the other way? You don't need to sit there and give a correction and stress yawn. Right here. Look at that beautiful little face.
The door, and they go, I'm leaving you to go to the door, and you go, pop. No, you're not.
No, you don't
Down
need to
into
pop.
The side, correction. It's not a correction here. It's a correction here, and then you're already walking the other way.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which way you pop it. It's the way he turns his head is because he's used to doing that on a halter or a head halter or the gentle leader, where he can twist and break a dog's neck and their face and damage something, because he's used to taking their head away with a pop at the leverage of a 6-foot leash. Just ridiculous. You don't need to pop. Just take out the middleman. Don't correct, redirect. If they're heading to the door and they're pulling you to the door, I would absolutely walk away. I would walk the opposite direction. If this dog is pulling me, we're not going anywhere. If I'm going to open the door, he wants to run out, I'm going to have him come back in. I'm going to walk him in, close the door, and we're going to do the door method, but I'm not going to tell him okay and then pop him at the end of the leash, like I'm sure he's going to do. I don't trick dogs. I teach them to expect, to know what's going to happen before it happens, because dogs do better when they have a schedule.
Then when you get that door, you do my doorway method.
No.
I'm going to do this for you, but I have to talk to you about it because you guys need things explained over and over again. He's going to see Carly. He's on the leash. There's no going to see Carly. Now, these guys
Why
need
did
to be
he
perfect
double
right
correct him? He was already there on a loose leash. Why did he double correct him? Because he is a pussy who likes to who probably gets off on taking advantage of an animal that is far more powerful than he is, that won't fight back.
now. No, and they're far from perfect. Just like your
I
dog's
don't
far
care
from
about being
because that's what
perfect.
you
No
guys-
dog needs to be perfect. You're not perfect. You're far from perfect, dude. Dogs don't need to be
asked
perfect.
me for. You guys don't want perfect dogs. Can he chew on his leash? No, he cannot chew on
He's
his
so
leash.
aggressive. Look at how
None
loud
of
of
this is-
hands he
we're
has.
not-
He's just
we're not doing any of
all
this.
over the place
There
with
is
his
a
hands.
leash on them. That means something.
Why did he correct? The dog wasn't even there. He tightened the leash unnecessarily. Over controlling.
It needs to mean something to your dog. You don't chew on it. You don't leave mom. Do they need to be perfect? No.
No, but
course.
it's not about being perfect, stupid. It's about you being over controlling and expecting them to be perfect. They can't take a step here. Don't look here. Don't sniff that. Don't put your mouth on this. Don't do 1,000 things that he tells them not to do. And they other than just standing there and breathing, that's probably wrong too, and they'll get a correction for that.
Of course not. 9-month-old dogs are never going to be perfect. Your dog's never. No kids are ever perfect.
A 6-year-old
Nothing's perfect in
dog
life.
is not perfect.
But we need
a 16-year-old
to
dog
establish
is not
certain
perfect.
criteria. The main criteria is you don't leave me. And if you do, I don't care the situation, whether it's PetSmart, whether it's on a walk, whether
Look at
it's
these
your
little
living room,
guys.
when this thing is on, you don't leave me. And you don't pull. But
Okay, you could teach them that they don't want to leave you because they would rather be in your vicinity because it's more rewarding to be there. Or you can teach them, don't leave me because I'm a slave driver and you're a slave. I am the master and I will beat the shit out of you if you leave me. For him, it's a correction. And in some cases, probably a pretty harsh correction. He's not using a prong collar because if he did, then the dogs would probably yelp with how hard he has to pop these dogs. A prong collar might even be more humane. I'm not a prong collar person at all. But compared to how he corrects with a halter, a prong collar on these dogs would be, out of the two, more humane than the way he corrects these dogs. But they don't need a prong collar to begin with.
It can't be pulling. Once they're pulling, you're already lost. They're leaving you on a loose leash, stop and pop. You can't wait for the pull. Okay, I like to walk dogs on the side of me, okay?
Controlling.
On one side of me. That's how I do it. I don't want to sit there and walk like this.
Lots of stress yawn, lip licks.
Okay, come on.
These dogs are nervous.
Sit. This guy's saying, yeah, but I don't want to sit. I want to smell your leg. I don't care what you want to do. Oh,
he corrected the dog that was already sitting, stupid. I'd much rather have a mistimed correction. I'd much rather have a mistimed reward than a mistimed correction. Because mistimed correction, the dog stops trying. I'm not worried about the perfect on-time sit. Over-controlling. Freak.
Lance, sit. Good. Are these like the fastest dogs in the world?
Who cares? They're afraid of you.
Listen, no, they're brothers.
They shouldn't be. Oh my God, listen.
Sit.
Excitement.
He's whining for some weird reason.
Because he's excited to go out to get away from you, you control freak.
So I'm not just going to be like hardcore. Like this guy whined when he was right here for some reason. You know why?
Because he wants to go outside.
Sit.
He's excited.
Am I going to sit here and repeat myself 10 times? Sit.
Oh, so now he has to fake lure him because he's so dumb and ignorant. He doesn't even know how to. He knows he can't overcorrect this dog. He can't give him a harsh correction because then he's afraid this dog might actually do something. So then he has to fake lure him with his hand. What a failure.
I'm showing you guys this before these dogs have been trained perfectly. That's the goal.
No dog is trained perfectly. You shouldn't have them. If a dog is trained perfectly, then you're a control freak. And there's something wrong and you have no bond with your dog. Get a robot.
We haven't trained a perfect sit with them, but we need to.
We don't care. Those dogs sat perfectly fine for me.
Stay.
Very good.
Okay. Oh, they're good. That's all we need. Now we can.
That's why they're afraid of you.
Another sit. Let's go, Carla. On my same side, are they with me? Yeah, they're with me. That's okay. You can leave that. Are they leaving me? This one was. He got corrected.
And so did the other one, because when you have two leashes, you don't know how to handle two different leashes. It's a skill on its own. You're going to be pulling on him, and this dog's going to get corrected. And now you're dragging him.
Heel? No,
dragging.
I don't care. I want them not to leave me.
Abuse.
Okay. Keep this one here.
Fearful.
Look, check in.
Afraid to move.
Yeah.
Shake
this
off.
Guy's like this dude's being
switching
awesome. He's being such
brain
a good boy.
set,
Oh my God,
mindset.
By the way, guys.
Ouch.
I get commenters sometimes, they're like, why didn't you praise the dog? That's why I don't always praise the dog. Did you see me? I was like, oh my God.
Because God forbid they get 1 ounce of praise and it brings their mood up and they forget about being afraid of you and they're not so afraid of you anymore. They say, oh, my abuser is giving me some kind of praise, so yeah, I should be happy. But then, it's Stockholm Syndrome. But then you go back to correcting because praise for you makes the dog too happy and too wanting to be a dog and not a robot. So that's why you don't praise them.
God, you're being so good, because he was hanging back and then he said, I'm going to pull. If you want to give treats, that's fine. If you want to say good boy, that's fine. Don't get into like I'm going to pet you and
well, a lot of dogs don't like to be pet anyway. Why not?
Because they get full of themselves and then they pull. If you're doing a downstay, you want to be like, oh my.
I want to proof the dog. That means that you don't know how to proof a dog. If I have a dog that I want to be able to teach them and show them everything. I want to be able to tell them, hey, you're a good dog. I love you, blah, blah, blah. While they're in a sit stay or a down stay across the street. You know, I want to be able to tell them there's a difference between good job, good boy, and okay, or the release word. So if they're in a down state, I want to tell them and praise them and let them know they're doing a good job, that doesn't mean to break their stay until I call them or I return to them or I give them a release word. So that's how I teach. I find that to be a hole in his training where he can't ever, reward the dog. God forbid the dog gets rewarded with a good boy every now and then. Not that many dogs care about it, but when you're in this position, of course they care about it. When he rewards the dogs, they get happy. Go figure. They're excited. And they go to pool again. I expect that. Okay, sorry. I didn't realize that I had my full camera on. See, I'm still getting used to this. I didn't realize I had my full camera on. This whole time, so there's going to be a cut between that. Basically, he's just dragging the dogs and saying, oh, you need to do this and whatever, and you don't need to do any of that, but let us continue. Ouch.
Lance is good. Then he was with me.
He has to drag the red dog.
To continue the walk again. 1, they have to stop. 2, he was looking at me. You don't have to get the look. Now from those stops, Lance, within criteria, I got to remember they're 9 months. Their brain is not all there. 9-month-old dogs in the
He doesn't give them
period,
enough credit.
9-month-old
dogs are, they're in a fear period. They're also very smart and they understand. And so he's going to abuse these animals in a fear period and make their lives miserable and probably their owners' lives miserable.
Patient. Look how good these dudes are. Oh, they're the best boys. Oh, he's leaving.
Pop, pop.
Oh, but he's with me. Oh, these guys are a load. Come on.
See, now you have to encourage him to get up.
Good.
You have to drag the red collar
now
dog.
I'm chill. I'm walking. We're gonna let him pee. Come on.
See, he doesn't want to walk with you.
Ridgebacks. They don't like the water, and it's raining. But life's tough.
Not for you, because you're a spoiled ass brat and you get to do whatever the hell you want to. You get to control dogs and people and animals and abuse them all you want to, and there's no reprimand for you. Nobody holds you accountable. That's why I do it.
Okay. Are they with me?
I don't care if they're with you.
Guys. Tamp them down early.
That doesn't mean that I allow dogs to pool with me. I don't care that they're by my side. I don't care that they're ahead of me. I don't care that they're a little bit behind me. I just don't want them pulling me down or acting like a madman. And I can work on that. If you want to see how, I'm not going to explain it now, but you can see in the description below. Check out the channel. Do your homework and see how I do it. Otherwise, then search other trainers that do it. Search up Kiko Pup, Gracious Stewart, Positive Canine, Training Positive, Zach George, Victoria Stillwell.
These dudes are being awesome. Come on. Now, when do we let the dogs smell? They can smell right now.
No, they can't.
We gotta let them smell. As long as they're with me, they can.
Because if they were to smell, you would correct them. Because they wouldn't be paying attention to you.
Now, I believe the owner said she likes to walk them 1 on each side. That's not our method, so we got to do our method. Then we'll maybe allow. Okay.
Why the hell do you care? You train for you. You should be training for the owner. I would train 1 on each side. If that's what the owner wants, I would train the dogs for that, not my method, because then they're going to do that with the owner, and the owner wants 1-on-1.
Let them smell. Release your arm. Give them the cue. Give them the leash, or give them more leash. Now they can do whatever they want. Okay, they were released. They can now do whatever they want. They can pee. They can walk. I'll cruise with them. We gave them 6-foot leash, 2-foot arm. They have 8 feet. They cannot pull,
so.
However.
Because now it's a 7-foot arm.
Still not pull. But they've been
7-foot
released
leash.
to do whatever they want. Then when I get them back on the street, I get them both on the same side. The cue, we can put a verbal cue to it. Let's go or something. They cannot pull. Even though they've been released to cruise, they still have to understand that a leash is on.
Cutie pies.
Okay, look at this. This is fine. This is all fine.
I'm fine with that if he didn't go jerking on him like that.
I'm not going to let them pull, but we're going to give them freedom. Okay, they can do a little bit of this.
Even then, that tension is too tight for me.
And we're going to start our walk again because you guys
the tension
don't
on the
want to
blue
sit here all
collar
day and do this. You guys want to walk. You want to get them exercise.
Well, you know what? Sniffing is more important in some cases for dogs than just walking. Sniffing is very important because it stimulates their mind. I don't care what the person wants. I don't work for what the person wants. I work to benefit the dog. If the person wants to go walking, go walking. You don't need a dog to go walking. A dog, is a privilege, not a right. So don't be acting overprivileged and saying that I need my dog to walk. I don't want to go sniffing. You know what? Your dog, their world is for sniffing. So if you want to divide it up, then you can have a walk where you're walking and give them 2 minutes to sniff. If you go for a 10-minute walk, give them at least 2 or 3 minutes to just sniff and be a dog. If you have a hound, I understand they're going to be sniffing everything and they can sniff it forever. So you can stop the sniffing, give them a time frame, or you can go on a regular walk and then you have times to set for a sniffari, where you go and spend 10 or 20 minutes on your walk and you let them sniff whatever as long as they want to. Of course, within limits. We don't want them sniffing a dead squirrel or anything, getting them sick or, rolling in something nasty or some, soiled water, but let them go and sniff for 20 minutes, and that's your walk. And you may not get very far. You may only get a quarter of a mile, but that was a great sniff walk for your dog. And next time you can get more exercise, because I'm sure these guys need a lot of exercise. But, the mental sniffing is very important for their mental stimulation, and it tires them out just as much.
Form 2. Okay, as soon as this car goes by, we're going to get them back on the walk. You guys know how I feel about verbal cues. They're overused. Come on. TJ. Okay?
You can't correct them when they don't know
what.
what.
He said no.
You can't correct them when they don't know what the verbal cue is. So if you never use them, then don't correct them when you do use them. Otherwise, you have to teach them what it means. And this is not teaching. Abuse.
Okay. Now we're going to get them back on the left.
Over aggressive.
They're bulls. They're big. You guys they have to know that you're physically strong.
They don't have to know squat. We all know that you have a tiny dingle in your pants. And that's why you don't feel like as much of a man. I don't care what makes a man. There's none of this nonsense of being masculine makes a man. This makes you, if anything, less than a man, because you're just aggressively going after these animals that won't fight back. And you think because they're strong, you have to show them who's boss. You're an idiot.
There's no more cruising. There's no more smelling. Now we're walking. And there's rules to this. More rules than when they were over there. Relax your arm. Okay. The lady, I think, possibly wanted them to walk like this. So we're going to walk them like this. Leaving me, stop, and correct.
You look like a mess, dude. You are a mess.
Leash is about the same distance. I'm fine with
He's
this.
so overcorrecting on every dog.
So we're going to do it both
because
ways.
his hands are so loud, he doesn't know what he's doing with them.
Cruising, cruising, cruising. Stop. Little pop. Doesn't
Yank.
hurt them.
Genius, if it didn't hurt them, then how would it work? Don't tell me that doesn't hurt them. That doesn't cause some form of discomfort. You are a lying idiot. You're a jackass.
The whole goal is to let them know that when they leave, there's a consequence.
What does that consequence mean? If they didn't stop like that, they wouldn't do it because they wouldn't be fearful of the correction. If it didn't hurt them, they wouldn't be cowering in fear to prevent that correction. Liar.
They're with me. They're behind me, in fact.
I don't want anything behind me.
They have never been on this walk
because they're afraid of me.
Together
Drag.
On a normal collar. These guys are great.
The owner's not going to keep up with this.
This is about as good as you can hope for with 2 dogs, 2 young dogs. Okay.
This idiot charges $2,000 an hour. I have no idea how much he charges for a board and train. Possibly in the tens of thousands. I mean, you're going to pay this man thousands of dollars to show you how to yank and crank on your dog? Yank and pull on their collar and on their face and cause damage and make them afraid of you. Okay.
So that's the video, you guys. This was walking 2 young dogs on a normal collar.
Young dogs, and he's doing this to young dogs.
Tamping them down early in the house. When does your walk start?
Ouch. So he got a lot more leverage on that leash that time. So the correction would be more.
The minute the leashes go on.
That dog ran away because it was fearful. He's not reactive.
You're okay. You're okay. Yeah.
Cute little dog.
It's your friend.
No, it's not their friend. They don't know
They're
this
not being
dog.
bad. Okay? They
Well,
are
duh.
9 months old, so they're inquisitive.
I wouldn't leave them on this tight leash. Now, this is not the time you correct, because you can make these dogs reactive by doing that.
They both started that like gnarly double dog pull. Now we have 2 dogs over here, but they're not being bad. They just
This
started
is
that
good,
pull, so I had
that
to
he
hunt
allows
her
them to
down.
look at the dogs.
I'm going to let him.
They're on a leash.
I'm going to let him sit here and, yeah, there's dogs there. There's dogs everywhere. Come on. You don't want to get your dog out of it too much. These dogs need to meet dogs. Come on.
Now he's getting aggressive and he doesn't need to.
Now I'm a little more over it. I let him look. I let him look.
Don't pop him like
and
that,
now we need to get him
stupid.
back on our page.
Why are you abusive? Abusive.
9 months old. What have I said about 9-month-old? Now
It doesn't matter, stupid. Stop repeating it. 9 months old, 100 years old, I don't care. Either way, you don't need to do any of this. So I'm over it. Like, he's over it. This is an old video of his. I don't know. I hope you got something from it. This is what I think of this Joker. You know, I have a whole playlist on him. Let me know what you thought about this. Thanks again for the kind words for Mr. Little Hermes von Tinklebottom, his full name. Go say howdy do to your little critters. Say howdy do for me. Give them some kind of loving they appreciate. Until next time, practice peace, patience, and positivity.